A to the K.
To the K.
To the K.
Ronda Rousey set to leave WWE.
SummerSlam card leaked.
WrestleMania headed to the United Kingdom.
The trial of Roman Reigns is set for Smackdown.
Is Jade Cargill headed out of AEW?
Has an AEW star been released?
Natalya receives 6 Guinness World Records.
And Kenny Dykstra may wrestle again.
Actually, when's all this coming up?
Right freaking now.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
and in
it
case
is.
you wonder why we're full of giggles, is we tried to record this about 6 times now. And, yay.
This is take 6.
This one
yes,
made it.
Yes, it is.
But the first one to talk to you about comes
This
from...
is the one that made it.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear the others?
How bad this? You want to see? Yeah.
Sorry, come on.
So the first one comes from Uncle Dave Anthony, who is reporting Ronda Rousey is on her way out of WWE. Now, the belief is that this has been in the plans for quite a while now.
Oh, is that why she's become considerably more unlikable as time went on?
No.
Oh.
Pure coincidence. But, yeah, apparently she had planned to do this much sooner. However, because of the injury and stuff going on, they've decided to extend it a little bit. But apparently she has the option to basically just say when she's done. So it's none of this like you will work your notice and you're not getting out your contract and all that. She can just go, do you know what? I've had enough now. Going home. And the plan...
I'm taking my ball.
The plan is that's exactly what she's going to do. So, by all accounts, based on what's happening at the moment with Shayna Baszler and a probable...
That's going to be a weird finish to that story.
Well...
If Shayna's like, nobody likes you, and then she beats her, and then she leaves.
Well, yeah, kind of bullying in it, but...
Yeah, kind of.
You know. But you have to look at it from the standpoint that if she does go into a feud with Shayna, which seems likely, and she has a match at SummerSlam, then I'm guessing Shayna's going over, and that's Ronda's way of elevating her friend and giving a push to Shayna.
Which is
who,
nice.
let's be honest, there was a point in time when she was a badass. Before she turned into a vampire and like Becky Lynch.
Remember the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, Elimination Chamber with peak Shayna Baszler.
Everyone.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, there's no nice way to say it, but she's been a joke.
Yeah,
the last
kind
couple
of.
of
Well,
years.
honestly, I think the point when it was like, yeah, they just don't care anymore, was when she was being haunted by Abby the doll.
Fuck, I forgot. I think I blocked that out of my mind.
That's where she's at right now.
Yeah. So, do you know what? This could do wonders for her. And let's be honest, to Ronda, and I'll go on record saying when she joined WWE and she had the match team with Kurt Angle against Triple H and Steph, I thought she was fucking phenomenal, right? I'd watched her in UFC, I knew all about her, I was so impressed, and then it's just been downhill since then, especially the return.
Look, she's not the best on the mic,
No.
right? That's fair. She's actually pretty good in the ring.
Yeah.
You know,
She's all right.
as it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bit that really kind of bugs me is, especially in the last few months, she's talked a lot of shit about the women's division, and she's like, but I'm leaving, not going to do anything to improve it. It's like, yeah thanks.
Yeah.
Boss, appreciate that.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is with her, but she just, especially since she's come back, she just doesn't seem asked. She's not up for it. I don't think she wants to be here, and clearly, if she's essentially working her notice at this point, then she's not going to be there. So, yeah, obviously, it comes with a massive, gigantic scoop of salt because it's from Uncle Dave, but it seems like it's going that direction. If we do get Shayna versus Ronda at SummerSlam, that'd be a perfect way to do it. Get Shayna the win, get her over, and yeah, Ronda leaves until we see her again. So, yeah, as you say though, it's a shame all the stuff she's talked about the women's division. Obviously, she was the main event of WrestleMania.
I hate to say, like, and hopefully, and this is not any disrespect to Ronda, I'm going to say, hopefully Shayna goes on to be the best transition from UFC to wrestling, right? Yeah. And I don't count Brock because he started in wrestling, right? Mm-hmm. But so far, Ronda's been the most successful transition from the UFC to WWE, really.
Well, maybe Ken Shamrock.
But again...
But he's never main evented WrestleMania, so...
Officially, he wasn't, like, UFC, was he?
Oh, yeah, he was UFC.
Wasn't he in it before UFC was UFC?
No, he was UFC.
Are you sure?
He was a UFC OG.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But wasn't he in Wrestling First?
No.
Ah. Well, fuck you.
Do you want me to shoot down any other ideas you have?
No, thanks, Dave.
Yes, I mean, compare me to Dave because it's probably all lies, let's be fair. But, yeah, Ronda Rousey could be done with WWE.
Interesting stuff, Carl. Indeed. Interesting stuff.
Speaking of interesting stuff.
Yes, you might want to get a drink for this one, Carl, because we're going to need another heaping of salt. This comes fresh, another gem from Dave's Waffle House. It's the apparently leaked SummerSlam match card. And the reason I say pinch of salt is obviously it's been reported by the Wrestling Observer. But basically they've leaked several matches that have not officially been announced by WWE, but are all kind of obviously being set up anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Probably, like, just as examples, right? I won't go through them all, but Cody Rhodes may find himself up against Brock Lesnar again. Well, that seems a lot, you know. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Well, that seems a lot. You know, just even reporting Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. Well, yeah, that seems a lot.
Yeah.
I honestly, this is like, so is this inside info or did you just watch Money in the Bank too?
I mean,
I don't know.
It's kind of the easiest job in the world in wrestling media to just kind of speculate on stuff wildly. And if it doesn't come off, go, well, plans changed. And if it comes off, it's like, see, I'm sourced.
Do you know what else is the easiest job in the world? Just throwing shit to the wall and seeing what sticks. And then whenever something doesn't work, you go, well, that was a Vince booking. That was totally Vince. Nothing to do with me.
There's nothing more frustrating at the minute. Right. It's so annoying. I love everything about this show. Clearly, Vince had nothing to do with it. One thing goes wrong. Vince's hands are all over. Really? Is that how it works? Vince just goes, well, here's the stuff I'm going to book that you're not going to like. And if you like it, then obviously it was Triple H. It's not real. It's not a real thing.
It just really tickles me.
Stop it.
It's like not a single bad thing Triple H has done, honest. And this is not, I love Triple H. I think he's done fantastic with WWE. I do think his booking generally is really quite good. But the fact that any amount of bad booking is, clearly went Triple H. Look at him getting involved. Look at Vince just getting involved from afar, sending an email saying, no, ruin that. It doesn't work. It's not true. Anyway.
I'd love it if it was completely true. And Vince is just there going, hey, Trip, see what you did there? That looks pretty good. So I'm going to throw in a wild fucking random match in there. So
I love it.
Yeah, so accurate, wild speculation.
I think
knows?
Reasonably accurate. I mean, plans subject to change, I suppose. But a lot of the suggested matches are probably going to pan out. Yeah.
These things are actively
I'm very
happening.
surprised if Drew doesn't head towards the IC title scene now.
Yeah. He came back and beat up
like
Gunther.
a real waste of a moment.
Yeah, only to just, I don't know, go after Dom.
It's like, actually, I'm going to go for the US title. See you later. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right.
So yeah, Dave predicts the obvious.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Yeah. So anyone else who did see Money in the Bank will have seen a wild John Cena appear. He was there.
But you can't see him.
He was there.
I guess his time was now.
Yeah. But is WrestleMania in the UK's time now? That is the big question. Because,
that is the big question.
By all accounts, when he came out and said what he said and put it out into the ether and gave all the fans some hope, Triple H in the post what do you call it? A post PLE press conference?
Yes.
He basically said, I didn't know what he was going to say when he went out there. And
bullshit.
A lot of logistics involved in bringing a WrestleMania over.
Bullshit.
So
I'm calling bullshit on that. There's no way. This is like up there with pretending that CM Punk went out there with a mic and no plan. Bullshit.
Well, that one was very clear that they knew what he was going to say and when to cut him off when he started talking about the Be a Star campaign. But with this one, I don't know. It's like Cena's like, well, I'm here. And it's like, well, what do you want to do? It's like, I don't know. I'll go out and just get the fans.
Do you honestly believe they didn't know he was going to talk about this?
I mean, maybe he said he might touch on it, but I don't think him going like, well, so we're going to get WrestleMania here, and everyone's going, oh, we're going to, and then Triple H is like, well, fuck, we haven't actually got WrestleMania here. I
don't know, man. I just feel like that is a big, like, what's his affiliation? What's his allegiance to the UK that even makes him want to force them to do that if that's truly what's happening here?
Well, yeah.
He's always been a company guy. To go rogue now, it just seems crazy.
I'd love it if it was all true. And obviously everyone's going, this is just in response to All In. Saying, well, if they can do Wembley, we'll do a bigger one and we'll bring WrestleMania. Like,
do you know what it's probably a response to? And I love AEW, so I'm not like trying to say like it's not a response, because I mean it'd be a reasonable response if All In sold out the way it did, and they are bigger and would probably sell more. But maybe it's a response to the fact that doing shows outside of the US has proved rather fruitful in general.
Well,
maybe it's that.
There is that. Obviously, Triple H said all the records were smashed with Money in the Bank. So yeah, I don't know. The thing is, though,
he meant the Guinness records,
Well, we'll get onto that. That's coming soon. But yeah, so apparently Triple H didn't know what he was going to go out there and say, and people are saying that, which makes a lot of sense. WrestleManias are typically booked and negotiated far out in advance, and we already know the next one is taking place in like Philadelphia or something, and then there's already conversations for like 41 or 42 already taking place in America. So if it comes over, do you think it's not going to be for at least 3 or 4 years anyway?
Interesting. You know what is interesting? Apparently, a UK member of Parliament has expressed interest in making this happen, which is interesting because, you know, that particular political party may not even be in power by the time WWE get over here again.
Wow.
So who knows? Because I'm not going to go into British politics, but it seems that they are getting a little bit of attention in terms of this, and they want to be able to do what they can to make it happen. And you know, when you've got a corrupt politician suggested, I don't know anything about them. They may not be corrupt.
Supposedly.
I'm just hedging my bets, given that 80% of them are corrupt, that he probably is. But yeah, it seems that they want it to happen.
Yeah. Well, so do we. And this might actually be one that we go to. Instead of going,
who knows?
Maybe,
WrestleMania would be one that we can't know.
Like, you'd have to, wouldn't you?
Even
if you're in the nosebleeds.
It may never happen again, ever.
Well.
And it's the biggest pay-per-view. So,
yes.
I mean, we couldn't not.
Indeed. But, yeah, it remains to be seen. Nothing is confirmed at this point.
Good. So, Carl, I got so caught up in all of that. I really don't. Now, obviously, Carl, this is... I just want to talk about it. This is kind of news, but obviously story building, if you will. But Jay or Jimmy, one of them, took to Twitter. Was it the Usos? Do they have a joint Twitter?
They have a joint Twitter.
Okay,
yeah.
But anyway, they took to Twitter following the Money in the Bank and following their fantastic victory over Roman Reigns, and announced that a tribal trial will be taking place this week on SmackDown.
Trial of the Tribal Chief.
The trial of the Tribal Chief will be taking place this week on SmackDown. And I just wanted to talk about it briefly and get your thoughts on this. So, I love the idea of a trial. I'm thinking like courtroom, witnesses and all sorts. Probably isn't going to be like that. But how do you feel about this? As like I didn't think this is where they would go with the story, but I'm actually digging it. So
yeah, I can't wait. Obviously, if you remember the trial of Sami Zayn and everything went into that, and you know, this is going to be even next level.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people didn't pick up on at Money in the Bank is when Roman couldn't defeat the Usos, he kind of just looked hopeless, and it was Solo was the one going like, "What you doing?" Like,
and then he kind of threw a tantrum on the outside of the ring.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, I feel as though this is where we're going to start to see Solo now also start to leave him.
Yeah, because he's lost his grip.
Yeah, because ultimately it's going to be, well, who is the head of the table? They're going to show that clip.
Do you think we might actually see Heyman turn on him here? Heyman go against him. Heyman becomes the person who speaks against him out of nowhere. Think we might see that?
I don't know, I think it's going to be one of them. It's either Solo or Heyman. I think one of them is going to turn on him here now, and he's going to be up against the corner either with only Paul or only Solo.
Do you think... because it's been reported that once he does drop the belt, he's going to have some time off. I feel like we're heading towards the time off here. But how do you think they're going to write out the belt? Do you think it's going to go to one of the Usos?
I don't think they will. I think he's going to be around till WrestleMania. He has to be. Like, it's going to be...
Cody's just going to rock up and finish the story.
Yeah.
So your family's beat you down. I'm here.
So if you think about it, Jey was the only person to pin Roman Reigns clean in God knows how long. So the natural next step in that is to go SummerSlam, Jey versus Roman for the belt. Roman's going to win, keep the streak going, and then we're going to start to move into Rumble and WrestleMania season. And
Cody's
what do you want to talk about? Cody's going to be around again. I'm wanting...
Love how we ask you what you want to talk about and then proceeds to just talk about whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But no, I think this is going to be fucking absolute chef's kiss cinema this week on SmackDown. Yeah. I can't wait. I don't know what's going to happen.
Just like Mama used to make.
Just like a Mama used to make.
That's offensive.
Probably. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what goes down and the next twist and turn in this whole bloodline. I
mentioned this to you off air. I'm going to mention here. I want them to call Sami as a witness.
That'd be so good. Wouldn't it though?
Yeah, it really would. I love it. Because Sami from afar, I don't know if you saw it, but they like asked KO and Sami. You obviously saw it because we were both sat watching the same pay-per-view about the whole. I think it was before the match took place, And that's been like the closest connection they've had to the whole Bloodline story, but he was a massive part of the Bloodline story. So I think to bring at least Sami back into the mix for this trial would just make absolute sense.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating that if they go down that route, because obviously everything that Sami went through, and the Usos ended up turning on him and stuff anyway. For them, if they're now willing to kind of extend the olive branch and be like, do you know what, you were right, then it's just another layer, isn't it? It's just fucking so many layers.
Honestly, I could see it like a bit of a speech from Jimmy or Jay, saying about like how Sami saw it before anyone else, and they bring him out on that basis, kind of thing.
So good. It's gonna be so good. Yeah, I cannot wait. This is probably the most excited I've been for a Smackdown in a long time. So exciting times. Now this next one again is a bit conjecture at this point, but Jade Cargill was on her Twitter and basically saying that AEW didn't make her. She was already well known and famous before she joined AEW. The people she was.
Okay.
And this one fan basically was there saying like, no, AEW made you and stuff, and she essentially was like, no, they really didn't. And it ultimately ended up leading to her saying that she's not sure if she's even going to come back to AEW, which I'd be kind of bummed out about it. A lot of people kind of pissed all over Jade, and I think it was unjust. Like, I get it when someone is booked to have a streak and is undefeated and people get tired of it really soon. I get it completely, and I understand that she's quite green in the division and to the wrestling world. But
let's talk about that.
Let me talk to you.
She's green in the wrestling business. Her moveset is already better than Hulk Hogan's. So what do we class as green in the wrestling industry? Because as far as I'm concerned, possibly an unpopular opinion, she has been one of the people who've elevated women's wrestling in the last decade.
Yeah, she's.
She is a legitimate star, and she needs to come back.
Yeah, she's a megastar. She's got it, hasn't she? She's got the it factor. I think it's less around moves; it's more around the execution of them and his psychology. And
I think she could drop an atomic leg dropper just as good as the Hulk.
Well, yeah.
Not Bruce Banner, just as good as Bruce Banner could.
Yeah, I get where you come from. I do agree.
I just think people get so het up on like in-ring ability when some of the biggest, literally the biggest star in wrestling that everyone knows the name of was actually not that good a technical wrestler.
Well, yeah, there is that. But no, I think it'd be a crying shame if she does decide to just hang it up, because, I get also, what do you do with her when she comes back, because she's had a loss now. So does she come back and then like just is losing normal for her now after being undefeated for so long? Or
it's difficult, and it would take a good story, wouldn't it? Because you could have the same argument like when Roman finally loses. Go, what do you do after that?
Yeah.
Because to go from that mega streak, which I'm sure some people will get really upset with the comparison, but to go from that mega streak to then you've took a loss, and what do you do from there? It's a difficult story to tell.
Yeah,
and it will really rise and fall on. They need to bring her back at the right time with the right reason.
Yeah,
really, but they do need to bring her back.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, if she doesn't go back to AEW, you gotta think WWE would swoop for her.
They should.
And if they did, we could get Jade versus Charlotte, and that would make me very happy.
Why are you even booking this?
Just saying.
Why are you even booking this?
Just saying.
We don't want that.
Yeah, we do.
Put her up against Rhea.
Yeah, but Charlotte, it's a mirror match.
No, put her up against Rhea. Rhea's the future.
Match. Yeah, I get that. But Jade versus Charlotte, money all over
Rhea not a mirror match? She's Dark Charlotte.
Well, exactly. Charlotte.
You got Charlotte. How is that not a mirror?
Charlotte's more of a mirror match.
Whatever.
Trust me. So yeah, I'd like to think she's going to come back to AEW anyway, and it's probably just kind of a bit of trolling on her part or to get people talking. But yeah, if she doesn't, then I'd be excited to see where she goes, because I would be pretty shocked.
Indeed. Speaking of things that aren't shocking, no offense to the guy, but did you know AEW had a guy called Trench on their roster?
Trench?
Nope. No. Well, they don't.
Oh, tattoo face guy.
That guy. Yeah. Well, they don't know. After his record of nothing, they've sadly released him. It's no disrespect to Trench. They clearly didn't use him at all, so it's interesting in some level of why that sort of happened in the first place, or why they've chosen not to continue his contract before actually trying to execute any sort of match ever. And we'll probably never get the detail of what's gone on there. But yeah, he's now quietly been released from the company. I say quietly, we're talking about it, so it's not that quiet.
Yeah. No, I'm all joking aside, I remember him debuting. Was it part of the Mogul Enterprise or something?
Maybe.
Or something.
Yeah.
But I remember it was him and like Parker Boudreaux and people like that. And they brought them all in, and I was like, "Ooh, who the fuck's this guy? He looks kind of cool."
I still want them to utilise Parker.
Yeah,
I think I keep seeing him here and there.
Yeah, he's got he's got something, hasn't he?
It's become a different world now without Dark. I'm sure we're going to see more releases. I hope Parker isn't one of them.
But like, just to name drop like we always do. When we were chatting with Caleb last week, he was kind of saying, though, wasn't he, like, even though Dark and Elevation are gone, like, there's now 3 AW shows, there's Ring of Honor, so there's still just as much opportunity to showcase people.
To be fair, like Ring of Honor, I have nothing else, because that's like your more indie brand, isn't it? If we're honest.
Exactly. But yeah, it's a strange one with Old Trench. I think he definitely had an interesting look. I don't know what his wrestling pedigree was, or his background or anything like that. So maybe he just wasn't up to scratch. He had the look, but he just didn't impress from a training standpoint. I'm not too sure.
I mean, there's got to be something, because they literally didn't really try him in anything storyline wise, or like as far as his win-loss record, it was just zeros. So I don't even think he had matches on Dark, because they normally count. So
yeah, I feel like he literally came from nowhere. So maybe he was just very green to the business, and he just didn't impress in the training side of things. But yeah, wherever he ends up doing, wherever he ends up going, then obviously wish him the best. But we are trenchless now in AEW. We're no longer in the trenches.
No longer.
No. But this one, again, short and sweet, but just a chance to celebrate and congratulate the one and only Natalya, women's wrestling legend, who picked up 6 Guinness World Records.
I mean, that's impressive as fuck, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, to come to the UK and then smash 6 Guinnesses in one night is just impressive.
He brings the jokes.
Well, yeah, like, fair play to her. I think she put up something quite recently as well about, like, not just about this, but about her whole career, and she talked about, like, I think it was like a family mentality of, like, not just sort of elevating herself, but it's about elevating the division, and she's always tried to come in with that mindset of elevating the division and the people she works with and so on like that. And to be honest, this is a massive testament to her. She's been an absolute workhorse for years, and she hasn't necessarily been put in the main title pictures or anything like that, but she's always been a consummate professional, if you will.
Yeah, it's crazy how long she's been around. Do you know what I mean? You think of like the wrestling legends, and you think of like your Trish and your Lita and stuff, and it's like, well, they were there, but then they were gone for a while, and then maybe they came back. She's just been here.
I mean, some of those records are literally that, aren't they? Like most consecutive Raws and stuff like that. It's like, God damn.
Exactly. Like, so, a mainstay.
You don't think about it, but she literally, like, since the reformed Hart Dynasty, whatever they call it. Was it just the new Hart Dynasty or the Hart Dynasty again?
I think it was just called the Hart Dynasty, wasn't it?
But like, that's like, we're literally talking like decades, aren't we? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolute workhorse, man.
Yeah, massively well deserved. And obviously, every time we see Natalya, I think people know what to expect. They know they're going to get really good in-ring work, and they're going to get something entertaining and stuff like that, even if at the minute she's not exactly winning a lot of matches. But the fact that she's
kind of in that position now where she's used to make people look good.
Yeah.
A Dolph situation in some senses.
Yeah, you need people like that, don't you?
And I dare say she's probably quite willing to, at this point in her career, to go, I want to push younger talent.
Yeah.
And she seems that type of person. And
as you can,
I'd love to have a conversation with her, actually.
Yeah. Come on the show, Natty. Come on the show. Come on. But no, like, imagine getting the rub from getting a victory over Natty. Like, that's straight away is elevating to young talent. So, massive congrats. Shame I haven't got listed here what all the 6 accolades were, but it is stuff like the most matches, the most pay-per-view things, the most women's wins.
I think she's had. I think one of them was most WrestleManias as well.
Yeah, so she's literally just done it all. So, massive congrats, and I just wanted to have a little story there to celebrate Natalya, because she deserves it.
Indeed. So, Carl, Kenny Dykstra. Do you remember Kenny Dykstra?
Oh yeah.
Or Kenny. Has been working behind the scenes for WWE for some time, and has recently stated on Twitter that he's got a lot left in the tank. He's also said that
his car.
Yeah, like they pay well, so he can get from A to B.
Drive wherever he wants.
Fuel prices are through the roof, so it's a bit of a brag, to be honest, a bit of a low key flex. But no, he's put that he's got a lot left in the tank. I think last October he mentioned something about unfulfilled potential, so I think there's still hints of him suggesting that there's still some in-ring work he wants to get done here. But interestingly, he said that whether or not he'll get the chance to wrestle again in WWE is up to management.
Interesting.
So it seems that, and I find it interesting, I said in WWE, so it seems that he's almost suggesting, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he's almost suggesting it's gonna happen. Like, may not be WWE, but it's gonna happen.
Well,
so,
yeah, he's a producer, isn't he? He's a backstage producer for WWE at the minute. So whether that means he's not allowed to take indie dates, and so if he's going to get back in the ring, it has to be they let him do it. I'm not too sure.
I think, to be honest, I think he'd just like to wrestle again with WWE, but they may be like, well, no.
Yeah,
it's one of them, isn't it? And,
I mean, you could definitely do something with him in Dolph.
Yeah,
history
there. Nice little
History
reunion. I think the last time he was seen on TV was, 2021? And again, it involved Dolph, didn't it?
Yeah, so, yeah, definitely could be some stuff done, but, yeah, strange one. I didn't have that on my bingo card, so if we do get to see him, then madness. It was not in our wild predictions, put it that way. So, yeah, another fun-filled week. Wasn't a lot of stuff in the news this week, but I feel like the stuff we found was good stuff.
Yeah, it was decent stuff.
And if you enjoyed listening to us talk about the news, then you know what you need to do. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit a like, leave a comment, all that good stuff. If you're listening to us just like liquid butter in your ears, then, you know, would anyone really want liquid butter in their ears?
In your ears.
I imagine that would be very uncomfortable.
I'm Casey Miller. Sorry. And today's episode is brought to you by water.
At them high quality
Refreshing.
H2O.
And let's be honest, you can't drink vodka all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, so if you are listening to us, make sure you leave us a rating, download the episodes, and follow us on there as well. So yes, until next time, we will say goodbye.